Hello and welcome, everyone. I hope that everybody is having a wonderful day, a wonderful start to their week, a wonderful finish to their week, a wonderful start to their day, ending to their day, depending on when you're seeing this, just positive vibes sending your way. If you don't know by now, my name is Will Zapata here with Apollo Energy, and I wanted to take a couple of minutes out and basically talk about 2025 is coming to an end, and the question that I still get is solar still something that I should do? Does solar still make sense? And the question is, well, the answer is it depends on what your situation looks like. So for today, I want to be able to break down, what is the best option that might work for you because this is not for everybody. And then obviously what to prepare for 2026, especially if you don't know, a lot of the tax incentives as far as ownership, like the 30% tax credit is going away. Right now, as we're recording this, it is the 10th of November. So we don't have much time left in order for you to take this small window in order for it to make a big difference, not just for your home, but for your family. And when it comes to renewable energy, the way that we look at this is it's not just about saving money. It's actually about protecting yourself, protecting your family against the cost of inflation, and obviously being able to have more control over how you get to enjoy and live in your homes. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. So now, 2025 is coming to an end. As I mentioned before, the tax credit is going to be going away. So the first and best option when it comes to solar, if it works for you, is going to be to do an outright cash purchase or your own financing. The great thing about it is that you might be able, depending on what permitting look like or permitting timelines look like, but you might be able to get your system installed before the end of the year and claim that 30% tax credit. You're going to be able to lock in your rates, especially if you can utilize things like net metering and get a complete offset. And then, as we mentioned, you'll be able to claim that 30% tax credit that obviously will help in the total cost of solar. If you can afford it, cash is always going to be, king when it comes to solar. You're going to be able to get the biggest and the fastest ROI. So for any families that are able to take advantage of it, if you can, if you have the savings, if you have, the financial bubble, if you have the space, the extra layer of fat to be able to go solar and do it, with the cash option, I highly recommend it, especially because it is going to be more cost effective this year since you can still qualify for that 30% tax credit as long as you're able to get your system installed before the end of the year. Now, if for whatever reason, that is not an option for you, because I totally understand, the other option that you can do is look at a third party ownership or what some people might call as a PPA. The reason why this is a great option is because from what I hear, I haven't seen anything contrary to it, but they're still going to be able to take advantage of the 30% tax credit, even though you don't as the owner of the system, but being able to at least buy the power from the solar at a discounted rate, especially nowadays, if you're in the Northeast, Connecticut, Massachusetts, or Rhode Island, you're able to sometimes lock in your rate or reduce, or basically cap how much your rates of electricity can increase. So I would definitely look at a third party option or a PPA as something that you can do. I actually see that being much more popular as we get into 2026 and moving forward, especially if you're looking to, let's say, maybe, not own the system or finance it. You're able to still take advantage of what solar can provide and still take advantage of obviously the bigger company getting the 30% tax credit for those options. Now, finally, and this is something that I've been straying away from just due to interest rates, is you can finance the system. Being 100% transparent, I don't recommend families do it at this moment, especially again, if you have an option to do a third party option or you can go cash. Right now, with interest rates, like they are getting better, so that is helping, but I still think that they've been pretty high relative to what we've seen before. On top of that, depending on how long you plan on being in the home, it may not be worth it for you to go ahead and pay extra to do or utilize, a solar loan because of the interest rates. So what I would recommend is look at how long you're going to be in the home. If it's something where, again, if you can afford cash and you plan on being in the home long term, totally take advantage of the cash option. It's going to give you the fastest ROI and you'll be able to take advantage of the 30% tax credit. Again, if it's done by the end of this year. And then on top of that, all the credits, all the incentives go to you. When it comes to, if you can't, the third party option or the PPA is a great backup. Again, you're able to enjoy the benefits of going solar. On top of that, you'll be able to, cap or even, protect yourself from any kind of increase when it comes from the utility company or the overall cost of electricity. And then, again, personal opinion, if you can avoid it, but if you had to and you had to, bank on being in the home for a really long time and you're not going anywhere or it's going to stay in your family, you can look into taking advantage of a solar loan. Again, you do want to make sure that you can get the system installed by the end of 2025 so you can take advantage of that 30% tax credit that then you can put back into the loan. Now, before I end this, we're looking into 2026 because basically it's going to be here around the corner. And here are some of the things that I see happening more and more as we get into 2026 and past the 30% tax credit for ownership. I definitely see a lot of families being able to take advantage of battery incentives. From what I've seen so far, you'll still be able to claim some kind of tax credit on batteries when it comes to solar. So definitely you want to make sure that you can take advantage of that. The other thing that I also see is, more and more people doing any kind of electrical addition to their home, which means they're going to be needing solar. And even if they can't do a ownership option or a finance option, third party options are going to be much more popular. Again, especially in areas where you see Connecticut, Massachusetts, you can get locked in rates even if you choose a third party option, which is always great for the homeowner. I do see there being a lot of projects, where they're adding more electrical usage to the home, and solar is a great addition to offset that as well, especially as we move into 2026. So if you would love to see what solar could look like for your home, if you would like to get more details about your situation specifically, feel free to go ahead and send us a message, either through, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. You can go visit our website at apolloenergyusa.com, and we'd love to be able to just have a conversation with you to see if solar does make sense, maybe if not now, maybe in the future, and what that difference will look like. So, at the end of the day, when it comes to solar, again, it's really not about saving money. That is a byproduct in some cases, but not always. But what it really is about is you being able to have protection against rate increases. It's about you being able to protect your family against inflation. So I hope that you found this helpful. I look forward to being able to chat with you guys some more. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day. And if I don't see you soon, definitely a rest of 2025. I'm going to see you soon. So I'll see you again. Take care, guys. Have a good one.